What's going on, motivators? We got another video. Today we're going to talk about Gavin Newsom going after Nick Shirly, who's uncovering all the fraud in California. Let's get into this.
Who I truly believe when Michelle Obama spoke, Obama's rating would go higher because Michelle Obama was a speaker.
100%.
She knew how to win the Democrats over. I am telling you, this guy's Achilles heel is his wife.
Yep.
Every time Jennifer Newsom speaks, you're more worried about him becoming the president. And by the way, I know we were going to go into Canada, but let's do...
Yes, we are worried because she's very woke. Remember, woke is not there. They're just laying dormant for a minute. We thought it was over with, but Gavin Newsom's wife, Jennifer, sure shows us that it's not.
And we're going to Canada.
Fine.
So he comes out. Nick Shirley's obviously going into California, and he's exposing the fraud in California one by one as he's doing this. And you can go to Nick Shirley, one of his recent videos. Post this one right here. Let's stay on this. So Gavin Newsom says California is leading the charge against the large-scale identity theft and hospice fraud. Today, we're taking decisive action against 14 providers who tried using stolen identities to bill Medi-Cal for non-existent hospice services. Oh, wow. We're going to get him, Viva. We are going to get him, right? Shirley responds and says, you tried to paint me as a pervert for exposing fraud. And as a result, radical leftists started to try to dox me and send death threats, wanting to kill me. Now you're taking credit for leading the charge on the fraud? Are you serious? You are the fraud.
Did anybody know that Gavin Newsom was handling fraud in California? I didn't. There was no mention of it. And even before Nick Shirley went into California, he was in Minnesota. If Gavin Newsom wanted to, he could have went ahead of the news cycle and started doing something about it. He did not. It wasn't until Nick Shirley went in and showed the hospice fraud that's going on, the fraud with the train system, the fraud with the homeless list. There is countless fraud in California. Then he pops up and he said, well, yes, I was taking care of it. Sure, I was taking care of it. Nick Shirley, get out of here. We're taking care of it. There is still a lot of fraud of accounted money that we don't know where it went to. This is taxpayers' money. Taxpayers' money, we don't know where it went to. They don't know. With all the crazy projects we have in California that never finishes. Homelessness, over $20 to $40 billion spent on homelessness. And it got worse. The train system was supposed to have built from San Diego all the way up to San Francisco. Never happened. Gavin Newsom, nothing is happening under his watch as far as taking responsibility. Every city is worse. LA is worse, and San Francisco is far worse than where it used to be. This set is so big with the amount of money it's bringing in, it's a shame that it's being handled this way as far as government.
Nick Shirley, you are the flipping man. By the way, if you're watching this and you love how Nick Shirley goes after Newsom, you can connect Nick Shirley. We're going to put his handle below for you guys to connect him, and it actually gets back to 100% of people that message him. That's one way to stay in contact with the young man, and it's a second way to also support him for what Nick Shirley is doing. Is this one of the clips that we have?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Viva, why don't you say a couple thoughts, and then I'm going to get into Nick Shirley.
Well, it's an amazing thing. Tom McDonald in one of his songs had the lyrics, they kill you and then they broadcast it and make it the news. Gavin Newsom created the fraud that he's now going to combat.
Yep.
So he's created the problem and he's going to make himself the solution to solve the problem that he created. I mean, it's exactly what they've done with the homeless crisis.
Isn't that the same Democrats' tactics right now? They were the ones who allowed the country to be invaded by illegals over the border. And then they try to put in a bill in Congress to say, oh yes, we're going to fix it. Guess what? There was no need for that bill in Congress because there was existing laws that could have prevented it from happening. Obviously, we see it's being done right now with the Trump administration. Just close the border and follow the rules you have on the books. This is all law-abiding citizens want. And they want the people that we place in power to do their jobs. It's not that hard. I swear, I believe the people who go to Congress are sometimes the most incompetent people that we send over there. That all they know how to do is politics. And the whole purpose of being in Congress, which is for their constituents, that they have fallen short of it.
The worse it gets, the more work they create for themselves to solve the problem of their own making.
But it's effective. It's effective with their own audience.
It's how government works,
Yeah.
and it does. Like it's exactly what Tim Walz has done in Minnesota. Like, oh, look at the scale of the fraud here. We're tackling it. We've arrested a number of people that have committed crimes
true.
under our government.
So now,
But I'm hoping though, and from what I am seeing so far, a lot of people are waking up. A lot of people are seeing through the shenanigans. A lot of people from the left are starting to see like, wait a minute. You just told me nothing was being done about this, but you were the one in power for the last 4 years. How is it someone else's fault? A lot of black people also waking up into why isn't our area still looks like a mess, but you come to us every 2 to 4 years and ask for our votes. A lot of people are starting to wake up and see through the Democrats' schemes. And I call it scheme because they're scheming. They're scheming on a daily basis. We all know who started the KKK and who held black people down. It was Democrats. But yet, there are a lot of people who believe that it was Republicans. Answer me that question. How is it that people in this country don't know basic history of where their parties came from? It's amazing to me.
Nick Shirly here. Go for it, Rob.
Now we are here outside of Healthy Life Adult Daycare. This place, over the past few years, has billed $19.8 million alone. Now let's go see if I can enroll my grandma, because she needs some daycare. And this right here is the entrance of a building that's received over $19 million. So this is the location that's received over $19 million. Kind of crazy, right? They say that right here, right now we're here at 1:30. No adults are here. I wouldn't doubt that adults do come, but $19 million.
Got a nice pool table there.
Korea, it's like
That does not look like a place that received $19 million. Either one thing, they received the money and they sure don't put it back into the facility. It goes into their pockets.
Everything's set up, but there's no people. It's like for a show almost.
No, nobody's here already. You have to come back tomorrow.
And could we get like a brochure to enroll our grandma into this location?
I don't have anything.
Can anyone give us a brochure?
I mean, first point of fraud, that you go into a facility and there's no one, right? Adult holding facility, adult caring facility, and there's no one. Then you got to come back tomorrow. This is wild, very wild and very alarming.
They know who he is. Look at her, she knows.
Somebody has information about.
They're panicking,
here?
bro.
Don't think it's enough to say it's fraudulent, because you do see that it is operating. There were people working inside there. But the fact that there's just businesses like these popping around everywhere, and this is what they look like outside of a location that receives $19 million over the past few years, yet the building looks completely almost dismantled out here. And look, all they have to say that they are an adult day healthcare is that sign that says
ADHC.
HC. And there was some people working.
This is amazing, very amazing. How could a governor say he's been doing this and no one has tackled this project and do some kind of auditing on those places to ensure that they are what they say they are? Receiving that much money and it looks like this?
There was some people working inside of it. We have the phone number right here. Darren's gonna go ahead and give a phone call and see if somebody from inside answers. There are people inside right now. The phone's just ringing.
You can leave a message after the tone. This mailbox is full.
There you have it. They don't even have an inbox available to take in a voicemail. And
Stop it
another
right
thing
there.
to take note
Go. Let me hear the last part. What's he saying?
of is Gavin Newsom right now in Poly Market. He is the leading nominee for the Democrats come 2028. All this fraud's taking place. All this waste is taking place.
We can pause that
Nobody
right there.
really knows.
Vinny, your thoughts, Vinny.
I mean, it's funny how, just take a step back, you haven't heard anything from anybody from Minnesota, from Ilhan Omar, from Governor Walz. Remember, they're the loudest, they're the biggest crap talkers about everything. But now when there's hundreds of billions of million whatever dollars involved, everybody's quiet. And this is, by the way, this is the tip of the iceberg, Pat. I know you're gonna play the video of her after. If we're gonna be honest, like I don't think this is incompetence. I think it's a whole system built on fraud.
I have said this for weeks now. I believe it's a whole system of kickbacks. all Democrat states are a kickback state. Those politicians, whether it be in a state level or it be in a federal level, there is something going on within those states that they know of the fraud, but it's so conveniently that those frauds, the money gets back to the politicians. And I want you to ask yourself a question. Why is it that politicians go into politics broke? At least the majority of them. At least the majority of them do. But they come out very successful while they're in. And we know their paychecks. It's nothing substantial. How do you make so much money in excess of what you're getting paid? They go in as middle class, or while they're still in, they're millionaires. Make that make sense.
And everybody gets paid. The bureaucrats, the consultants, the contractors, the political, everybody is getting paid. And for people to even think that the governor of this state doesn't know is BS, okay? We're going to talk about...
We all know that Gavin Newsom is trying to run for president. Could you imagine that Gavin Newsom cannot even run his own state? And we're the largest state in the country, and he's trying to run the country itself? It would be disastrous for America. And not to mention the person at his right. Her thoughts, her mindset, I don't think a lot of people think it's logical.
About the high-speed rail. Also, when we're talking about these billions and billions of dollars, let's think about this. When financial crimes like this happen, Pat, what happened to Bernie Madoff? How much time did he get in prison? 150 years. Alan Stanford got 110 years. And the country has no problem giving life sentences to these people who stole from other people. When is the accountability going to come for people like this? And people like...
Because it's all about where you're at. It seems that the politicians never see their day in court. Sometimes they do, but it takes a while. It's my years. Right?
And it's almost like a joking thing when you see those memes of Gavin Newsom, #1 poverty, #1 tax, #1, #1. And he still has the gall to go in front of a camera. I'm just curious when, and I get investigations are...
Well, we have to remember, Gavin Newsom said he wasn't that smart, right? So when he hears #1s, he believed that he's #1 for the right reason. Not understanding it's for the wrong reasons.
Launching, Republicans love to launch, write letters, send you to Congress, refer you to this. When is anything actually going to come up from this?
Of a massive hospice fraud bust in Los Angeles County, and it's called Operation
Amazing.
Skip
He blow dries
Trace.
for sure.
Operation
Go
Skip
back a
Trace
minute.
uncovered
Operation Skip
and
what?
ended a massive hospice fraud bust in Los Angeles County, and it's called Operation Skip Trace. Operation Skip Trace uncovered and ended a hospice fraud scheme that defrauded Medi-Cal of $267 million. So just to be clear, $250 million.
And we wonder why our insurance is so high. Everything for medical insurance is very high. Why? Because the money is not going where it should be going to.
People like Chris Cuomo, and I hope he hears this, say that people like Nick Shirly are not real investigative journalists and blah, 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 and nothing's going to happen. #1. #2, this is a response because they're being exposed. Your system in
But what Nick Shirley is doing, that's what real investigators used to do back in the days. How many times do you hear from the big networks certain thing is going on and you're like, that is not what you've been seeing in your neighborhood? Because they don't get the perspective from real people. They only get it from a certain core group that they run polls on. It's amazing.
California should have done this years ago. How long has this been going on for? But this isn't an overnight thing that Nick Shirley just stumbled upon. This has been going on forever, and he's just, and God bless him, bouncing around from city to city, finding it and exposing it, okay? This is a response because now they have to say, oh, we're gonna start arresting people. If it wasn't for Nick Shirley, this would have kept going on and nothing ever would have come out about it.
And I have to say, what Nick Shirley is doing, that is true journalism. So let me know what you think. All right, motivators, if you enjoy what you've seen and heard, please like, comment, subscribe, and share a Black veteran's perspective. Stay motivated.